week of Myopia Movies, we finish our worst of the previous year month. Now that the Oscars are a month away, or I guess a month in the past, and we talk about a video game movie which, though having its moments, lost almost $250 million. This week we talk Jamie Lee Curtis in Borderlands. Thank you for doing all you do to keep us on the charts and relevant. Thank you for listening. Thank you for sharing. And thank you for reviewing. We appreciate it. And the reviews are the reason we keep doing this stuff. Thanks, everyone.
Welcome to Myopia Movies. This week we cover the final of our 4 worst of the previous year month movies. We've done Megalopolis, which...
Go back to the club, Nick.
I think that might be the best of them. Then we did Argyle, which was oof. Then we did Adam Webb, which was oof. And now we're doing Borderlands, which I believe of all of them lost the most money.
It's the worst of the worst.
It's the worst of the worst, I think.
I thought it was more entertaining than Argyle.
I didn't see Argyle, so.
No,
It's dumb.
Argyle is dumb. It's very dumb, but you might be right still. I was willing to watch Argyle twice. I don't think I would watch this one again. But anyway, so we're doing a video game adaptation with a huge cast. Actually, a pretty good cast. But a wasted script, hated by the fans of the video game, and I believe the lowest reviewed out of all of them with like a 9% on Rotten Tomatoes, somewhere in there. Not that Rotten Tomatoes matters, but...
That's where all the money went, was the cast. The cast is impressive.
I mean, the effects are fine. They use a lot of special effects here. The movie cost something like $200 million plus $20 million of advertisement. It made back 19.
Woo! Someone is getting tied to an anvil and thrown to the Los Angeles River over this.
I remember when they advertised for this movie, and I want to say it was only like briefly right before it came out. And maybe that was part of the mistake. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if hearing that it was bad made me watch it and be like, this is going to be bad. And then I was like, yeah, this is really bad. Because you guys know I love bad movies, but...
That's why you're here.
yeah. That's why I keep doing
Because we
this.
like torturing you so much, Keiko.
Well, normally I like bad movies. This one I did not like. And I think, I don't know, there's something about it that made it super, super bad.
Yeah, and I mean, I will agree with you. I don't know what their advertising, thought process was, but I remember, like you said, it was advertised right before it came out, which makes me think that they knew they had a turd on their hands, right? Like truly, because best I could tell, they didn't advertise it. No one came out to see it. They thought maybe the fans would know what it was. The fans did not. And also, I don't know, maybe I'm crazy, but they picked the exact wrong person to direct this. This is Eli Roth, the guy who does torture porn movies like Hostel.
Or that Thanksgiving one where they cook a dude alive in an oven.
So he thought he would do a PG-13 kids movie. Yeah, I don't know.
I also thought that this was like an adult movie. Maybe it would have been better if they could have done
an adult movie. Do you have the key? I've got the key. Bow, chicka, bow, wow.
I don't know what I thought this was. I don't think I thought it was related to anything having to do with video games until I saw it scheduled and I looked into it. So,
yeah.
And I don't know.
I never played the game, so I didn't come in having an opinion one way or the other.
Yeah, me either.
Although I was a little biased. My brother's a gamer. He has played this franchise, and he basically got me a little biased from the beginning. He said that the hardcore fans hated it. They changed the kind of the core story a little bit, at least. I may not have that exactly right, but I mean, if Twisted Metal is a TV series and that's based on a video game, it's going into a second season. Apparently, that's good. Fallout, I think is very successful. So I mean, you can do it. I mean, those are TV.
So the lesson is that video game TV shows are good and video game movies suck?
Well,
I think they just screwed this one up.
Super Mario was good.
Yeah, Mario was good.
It was really good.
Well, and I like the 1990s Mortal Kombat movie. The more recent one, I think, is pretty crappy.
Jumanji's not a video game.
No.
But the new Jumanji movies are a video game.
Well, and later this season, we will be doing another video game movie because Doom is set in 2025. The one with The Rock and Carl Urban. And we'll see how that one is. I remember being okay, being kind of fun. Like, I think part of the problem is these video games are huge and they're open world. And if I recall correctly, what they say at the beginning is mostly right. The Iridians were technologically advanced alien species, yada, yada, yada. But the vault automatically opens every 200 years. So there's kind of a race to get there first because they don't exactly know where the vault is. That's what it is. It's also a first-person shooter. And it is supposed to be very sarcastic and funny. And this movie does some of that stuff.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't know, man. Like, the beginning of it's kind of Star Wars, and then it becomes kind of Guardians of the Galaxy. Then at one point, it kind of becomes Jurassic Park 3/Aliens, where the kid has kind of been living on her own in the middle of this, like, little thing. It's all weird. And again, it's Eli Roth who does torture porn movies. So he's like, well, how do normal people direct movies? And he just kind of stole these scenes from other pieces. But, like, even that, when they're breaking out of the prison at the beginning, we have scenes that look kind of like, I don't know, like Human Centipede, because there's people pressed up against the glass. And you see these weird silhouettes of people trying to escape from this space prison thing. Okay, what the hell's going on? We're supposed to sympathize with this girl, I guess, eventually, and then we don't, and then we do, and then we don't, we do. But, like, why is Atlas arresting and kidnapping all these people? That's never explained.
Yeah.
Like, generic evil corporation. I mean, this is a sci-fi movie.
We allow corporations to arrest people? You'd think that would be addressed in the beginning scroll.
Weyland Yutani in Alien Romulus are running like indentured servitude company towns, planet-sized.
But here's the thing. You're right. But that's just another time they're ripping off another movie then. Like, I don't know. You want to try to explain the plot, Matt?
Can we introduce ourselves first?
Oh. So
I'm taking over the podcast. I'm Atlanta author Matthew W. Quinn, who actually liked this movie, then was kind of dumb.
Are you going to advertise your sci-fi fantasy books too?
Okay, sure. At some point, at this point, The Walking Worm will be out. That's my third and newest book in the Long War series.
Is it based also on another movie or a video game?
No.
Oh, there you go.
Plug your newsletter.
And my Substack, The World According to Quinn.
Good. Do you have a Twitter or an X or a?
My Twitter account has been
Blue Sky?
staked and left out into the sun again.
Are you on TikTok?
No.
Clock's
by the
ticking.
time this comes out, it's long gone, I would imagine.
This joke won't be relevant. Yeah.
It might be. Some people escaping to Mexico so they can do sad TikTok dances. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Alex Ewalt, and this is, I think I'm a little closer to Matt on this movie probably. Didn't hate it. I've definitely done some movies for the podcast I hate more. We'll get into that.
This is Keiko, and I would like to know how we can submit for a reimbursal for renting this movie.
Yeah, no kidding. I'm Nick, your host. So yeah, I guess Matt doesn't want to do this plot. Do you want to do the plot synopsis?
I can do that too, but I don't want to
yeah,
totally
Matt can
take
do
over
that.
the
Matt can do
podcast.
that. Does this movie have a plot? I guess it does, but
It does. It's stupid. It's very basic. And to be fair, I think the first 30 minutes are by far the worst part of this movie. Like, awful. Once they just kind of get going and it's fight scenes, then it's better. But, like, this beginning part where we're, like, in a bar, and she looks like the woman from The Fifth Element. And she's like, I got a bounty. I can't help you. And then she shoots a guy. And then the bar kind of goes on without. And then the guy cuts his face off and puts it on the other guy. And he's like, I'm going to advertise for what we're talking about.
You're saying he took his face off?
Yeah. Another movie that's ripped off in this. And, like, it's just sci-fi fantasy nonsense. And she's, of course, a perfect shot. It reminds me of, what's her name? From the Resident Evil games.
yeah.
Alice?
No, the actress.
Mila Jovovich.
Mila Jovovich.
Yeah.
And that's how she's even dressed, like the kind of all leather one piece suit, the sci-fi fantasy gun. Like, she even does the Mila Jovovich's, like, the poses. And by the way, W.S. Anderson directing this, a little bit more fun, I think. Like, I this is more his element. Just he's not used to this budget.
A Fifth Element?
I already mentioned a Fifth Element.
Alex thinks I'm funny.
I'm glad you two are friends.
Matt's spicy tonight.
He is. Okay, now Matt, if you want, do the plot synopsis.
All right. There was a long ago alien civilization that ruled a galaxy called the Peridians, or maybe the planet Iridians, and they're gone, but they've left all this expensive, super cool technology behind in this mysterious vault on this shithole planet in the middle of nowhere
Called Pandora.
Pandora.
Yes.
Why don't they call it a box?
I thought it was the vault
Instead of a vault.
Yeah, because then it could be.
Because
You could have done that.
Because
I get
then
it
they
now.
can rip off two different things.
Yeah.
Because we have Pandora's box and we have the vaults, which is what all of the
Fallout
games
Oh,
are.
is that?
Yeah, again,
So-
this movie has not a creative idea in its head.
So it's a planet full of evil mega corporation private armies, biker
Oh, we
gangs.
have one of those too.
Biker gangs who look like they're all Jason Voorhees in space. Various and monsters and other shenanigans. I mean, this is based on a role-playing game. And
FPS.
open world game, first-person shooter. And so shenanigans ensue, and Kevin Hart breaks this middle school girl wearing bunny ears out of a space prison. While in the first 5 minutes, there's a joke about his height, so you can see where this is going.
So Matt likes it because they make fun of short people.
I'm shorter than you.
The first text I got was they're making fun of Kevin Hart being short. This is going to be good. And I'm like,
Because it's such a dumb, obvious joke.
And also, we can talk about this girl the entire rest of the podcast. How old did you think she was supposed to be?
I think she's supposed to be 13. She looks like a middle schooler.
Yeah, 12, 13.
So the actress is 17. But I always feel it. We saw this in Madam Web too with Sydney Sweeney, who's supposed to be like a high school girl, and she's like 25.
25 or something, yeah.
When you have a girl like that, I mean, she's 17, she's almost a woman, acting like she's like, so my God, like she's 30, it's really upsetting to me. It's like, and like throughout this, she's wearing the bunny ears, which I know is a character trait in the costumes in the movie, but still, she's playing it like cute, and she's bringing around stuffed animals, which are explosive because this movie's kind of whatever, but it's a lot, and she's acting like she's being real cute when she's just like a teenager, and it's weird. It's weird.
Here comes Gen Z. TikTok bombs. Although since TikTok is not going to be an issue, now they're all joining Red Note, which is even more obviously run by the Chinese Communist Party.
My goodness, could they have it in the title of the app even anymore?
And you have to swear allegiance to the Chinese Communist Party to join.
I don't know if that's a joke or not, man. I'm going to assume it's a joke.
Is that a joke?
It's true.
That's the I agree. That's the agreement before you
terms of use?
get to sign up on your create your login.
Whatever.
Well, I got Kevin Hart just I'm just tired of Kevin Hart. He's oversaturated. So I knew he was going to be in this. He pops his head around at the beginning, and I'm like, we're about to get a whole lot of Kevin Hart again.
A couple of years ago, some of my students were saying we're at peak Kevin Hart.
You know what surprised me was Claptrap. That was the point where I was like, okay, this movie is like going to be okay. And I actually thought it was Patton Oswalt, and I looked it up.
I thought it was the guy Inconceivable.
Wallace Shawn.
I thought it was Wallace Shawn because that's the kind of thing he's doing. Thanks for shooting me. I'm bulletproof.
Yeah.
But it was Jack Black.
Yeah, that was surprising.
So modulated that why do they even bother? It doesn't sound like him.
See, that's the point I would make. That's exactly right. Why the hell would you, unless he was like gritty and Jack Black, why could you hire Alan Tudyk?
I know, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Like anyone. Like,
I mean, it's not quite Vin Diesel saying I am Groot level of just, putting a name in a role like that many other people could do. But yeah, Jack Black is...
Yeah, because half this movie's budget had to be the cast. So they could have... Jack Black probably was a big chunk of their casting budget. They could have just had someone else and saved some money. Not that they've really made money anyway, given how much of a disaster this was.
I mean, you say that. I don't think he got paid much for this. Although, I mean, at this point, Jack Black's putting out 4 movies a year. But, like... The person who got the money must be Jamie Lee Curtis.
And they didn't do anything with her.
No.
Like,
I mean,
she's so awesome.
She's great. She really is wonderful. The other laugh I got from myself, it's just for me. But when they go to a bar called Moxies, and Moxie's spelled with between 2 and 3 X's. I think it changes at one point.
3 X's. Oh my!
That's the point. Thank you, George. But there's a woman wearing a bustier and a bunch of cleavage, and I'm like, what is this, Gina Gershon? And it was Gina Gershon, who's like 62 and looking fantastic. But it's just like, they knew exactly what they were getting. You wanted someone who's short and making jokes? Oh, you got Kevin Hart. Great, Kevin Hart. I don't know what Cate did to have to be in this movie. They must have paid her a pile.
How strange. What a strange casting choice, and a strange choice to take the job, right? I mean,
an action heroine who's nearly 60. That's interesting.
What is she doing?
Not much
these days, because maybe
she needs the money.
I guess she thought she needed a big switch up.
Well, there's not really a lot of parts for middle-aged women in Hollywood, so hey, we can be an action hero.
And but this movie started production during COVID.
It did.
Like right
development hell forever.
And so, maybe it was just like a different landscape at that time. And I don't know, like Super Mario did so well shortly before this was released, right? So I don't know. Maybe
I think what you're saying, and I guess
what am I saying?
No, it makes sense. I bet you they were going to shelve this movie forever and not release it. But she was nominated for an Academy Award and almost won 2023 in the movie Tar. Mm-hmm. And so I wonder if that heat, they're like, we can finally release this. Our main, because I mean, not to disagree with Matt, but like she's put out 2 to 3 movies a year every year for the last 15 years. Like she's in things all the time. She was the villain in Thor Ragnarok. She was one of the leads in Ocean's 8. Like she's always working. She's got stuff all the time. And again, like Tar 2022, she got nominated for an Academy Award the next with it in 2023. So like I think this movie took forever. I bet you, like, not that she forgot she did it, but she didn't remember anything about it when it came out. Like 3 years after they finished principal photography, like, and then she's in this disaster, and she's like, "Fine, I'll take the paycheck."
Yeah.
That's what I think happened. Because again, I can't imagine this movie. It has a 4.6 on IMDb, which is the lowest I've ever heard for anything.
4.6 out of how many?
10.
Yeah, IMDb.
There's much worse than there's got to be more worse than a 4.6 on IMDb.
I don't think so.
The audiences tend to give movies like this even a little bump on IMDb. I've found it tends to be.
Yeah, I'm trying to see what like some of these other ones we did.
I think where it went wrong maybe was the very beginning. I mean, I feel like I did not care about them from the very beginning, and I think if they had done a little bit more development in the beginning, like telling a backstory, showing us who she is, like why we should care about this bounty hunter who's old, and like I feel like they were trying to say she's aging, she doesn't know what to do, she thinks she doesn't have any value and whatever. Like they could have done more to explain that than just having one conversation in a bar.
Well, and you're also making an assumption that she's the main character, and the movie can't decide if she's the main character or not, because like then it becomes the teenage girls like movie for about half of it, like because we're following her, we're chasing her, she's the one leading everything, she's the one getting them out of scenes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, and to answer Matt's question, this is not the worst according to IMDb. Madam Web is a 4, but Megalopolis was a 5, and Argyle was a 5.8.
I think Madam Web was better to me. I still didn't like it that much, but I felt like it was more fun. I hoped that this one would be that kind of fun, and then it just never happened.
This movie, I think, they were storyboarding it, and then every third or fourth storyboard scene, there was like, and there needs to be explosions here. And that's it. Like they didn't think there's no connective tissue, because what drives the plot is, I mean, we didn't really talk about it, but a guy whose last name is Atlas, his name's like Declian Atlas. So it's bullshit name.
Yeah.
Wants Cate to find his daughter. We finds out later that somehow she's genetically modified, which comes to nothing.
Grown in a lab for...
She's just a clone. Yeah.
And she's the girl who we saw escape already with Kevin Hart. She's on the planet Pandora, and I got to look up this woman's name. What's the actress's name? Or the character's name?
Lilith.
Yeah. Lilith is, I don't know, hunting her down, and then is supposed to return her to Atlas, but she goes, "Don't return me to my daddy," quote unquote, which is a weird thing to say.
And again, she's 17. Yes, as you pointed out.
Don't call your dad daddy when you're 17. You don't. But all in all, what they're supposed to do is fight off the entire army and make it to something. Make it to the vault, which they don't know where it is, so none of this could matter. It could just be done.
Well, and I don't know how much this bothers everyone else, but Cate Blanchett is in the territory of, like, Hugh Laurie was in playing House for the entire run of the TV show, or when you hear Benedict Cumberbatch do, like Doctor Strange or whatever, it's like, well, I'm not English at all. I'm an American, and this is my authentic American accent, and I enunciate things just like a regular American would. And it just sticks out to me like a sore thumb. I don't know.
No, it does, because her version of giving an American accent is just to sound kind of snarky.
Yep.
Right. This kid is bothering me, and you're just like,
that's exactly it.
And you're just like, okay, man, I get it. Why can't she be English? Like, it does not change the story.
I think she should try out a good Boston accent. I think that would be good for this movie.
Or Kate Winslet doing a Philadelphia accent.
Yeah. Mayor of Easttown.
Yeah. Why not?
Be a Chicago cop. Oh. Hey, I need some sausage here.
I just say "see" a lot. That's how That's just you just gotta go to the store, see, and
see.
Maybe each scene she could just pick a different accent. Har-ta-ta-tar, where is that child? Oh.
Yeah, see what sticks. Just throw it.
Now I say, where's that child?
Word is there's a little girl around here. Anyway.
I get to see my daddy. I'm just like, guys, I don't care about this girl. And again, if you want me to do anything here, you can't make the teenager the most unlikable person on the planet. You can't.
She has precious few moments where you start to feel a little bit of empathy, and that's just so far into the movie. It's like it's too late.
Is it before or after the space juggalos?
Dude, we'll get there. Also, we need to talk about Krieg. Krieg is a beefcake.
What every middle schooler needs, Jason Voorhees as her bodyguard.
But here's the problem. You made a joke, and you made a good joke, and you're fine. But here's the thing. It would make more sense if she was younger. But the fact that this girl looks 17 or 18, you're like, what did she do to get this beef?
Yeah.
Again,
it's
if
weird.
it was a 10-year-old or an 11-year-old, and you're like, he's protecting her.
Yeah.
No. If it's an 18-year-old girl, it's her boyfriend, right? Like, no, I'm just saying, like, she looks like she's a high school teenager.
Yeah.
Like, it's a very different scenario then. If she was younger, again, think of Aliens. There's that, like, little scrappy child who's, like, 7 years old, and you do that easily. You grow the hair out. She wears these, like, tattered clothes. Then you believe it. But when you have this teenager holding on to this large man, I'm like, no, guys, you can't do this. It's not okay.
She was reminding me of the girl from Bob's Burgers.
Tina?
The younger.
I can't think of a damn thing today.
Leslie?
No, I
God damn it.
haven't watched.
I love Bob's
Is that
Burgers,
the
too.
one? Is that the Christian Shaw voiced one?
Louise.
I never
yeah.
got any boyfriend vibes. He's more like her pet.
He's like nonverbal,
Yes,
basically.
But
Yeah.
again, if you have an 18-year-old girl who has a large man as a pet, that is a sexual relationship. I'm sorry. And he's wearing a fetish mask and is shirtless the entire movie.
She refers to him as Big Brother early, which I don't know.
And calls the man daddy. I'm sorry. This is all fetish stuff for Eli Roth, and it's not okay.
I mean, it's like faintly Harley Quinn-ish, right?
That make her
I
older.
mean, yeah.
then make her older and dress her sexier. But like as it is, like the sexuality stuff is all over the place. We're introduced to Jamie Lee Curtis showing all the cleavage in the world as well, and then that goes away immediately, which for the best. But at the same time, it's just like, what is the purpose of any of this?
Yeah.
Like, it's weird. Because again, I know Eli Roth thinks he's doing a comedy, but there's so long in between jokes sometimes that we're just kind of like, then we have to think. You don't want to think. You don't want to think about this world.
I did think that there were a few like one-liners like during the fight scenes that were funny, that you know, one of them reminded me of one of the greatest movies of all time, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
There you go.
With Ivan Ooze, and like when they trip one of the bad guys, they're like, "Have a nice trip. See you next fall." Like Ninja Turtle kind of, you know, like I like that.
Sure.
But yeah, it was few and far between. There was just a lot of confusion about like why we care about what's happening. Like I just didn't care. I didn't care about any of it.
No, and you know, Tiny Tina is unredeemably like awful to everyone.
And so is Lilith.
Lilith is. I mean, the only one who's kind of a good dude is Roland and Krieg. Like Roland Kevin Hart is honestly kicking ass throughout this and doing a good job and dragging the movie along on his shoulders, his tiny shoulders. And Krieg does exactly what they ask him to do, which is to be a big beefcake and punch things, and he does those things with aplomb.
Yeah, I will say that I said earlier I've got Kevin Hart fatigue, and I do. As a sports, like a live sports watcher, he's in every friggin' DraftKings and FanDuel commercial, just pitching horrible gambling stuff. But I mean, he was understated in this movie. He was not Kevin Hart turned up to 11. He was tolerable for me. I just don't need him in everything.
No. And there's a handful of actors that are kind of just in everything.
Yeah.
And, you know, like Jack Black is also one of them now.
He
The Rock
definitely
is. One of
is.
them,
Yeah, The Rock, Chris Pratt.
Yeah, and like to your point, all the lines are, how do I even put it? They all sound like trailer lines too, right?
Yeah.
Like, Tiny Tina pulls out a bazooka and she goes, "Ooh, mine's bigger," and you're just like, "We get it, thanks, Eli." Or Lilith says like, "I'm a bounty hunter, not a babysitter," and you're just like,
That's a joke.
"That's a joke." Yeah. She even gets the Danny Glover line of "I'm too old for this shit."
Too old for this
I'm
shit.
just like, what movie are we
Yeah.
watching, guys? I mean, in Claptrap also. Claptrap's purpose is to make jokes. Like at one point, there's a firefight, and he goes, "You're alive. I'm alive. This guy, not so much." And you're just like,
And at one point, he's machine gunned by 1,000 space juggalos, and then proceeds to literally crap bullets for like 10 minutes.
Jack Black was relied upon to provide a lot of filler for an hour and 40-minute movie.
Yeah.
They really leaned on him to fill the time in a movie that's not as long as most of the movies that come out these days.
yeah, it's really, you cut off the credits at the end. It's a 90-minute movie. It really is 12 minutes of credits at the end because they've got nothing. And there's a lot of special effects money in this. I know Matt keeps talking about the actors and they're good, but a lot of these special effects are well done. But that means there's Marvel movie length credits at the end. And because of that, what they do is they use claptrap and special effects to get out of scenes that they've written themselves in a corner to. Like the scene Matt was just talking about. There's a firefight. He gets shot 1,000 times while everyone else starts to escape. Well, we know that the bad guys are going to have to show up, and we know there's going to have to actually be a fight. So he starts pooping out bullets for about 30 seconds straight, which, by the way, is not that loud, but apparently it triggers everyone. So we needed a joke to stick everything together. That's what he's here for. They have no way to get in and out of the scene, so they just have him poop.
That's how I get out of stuff too.
That's right.
That's how you transition. You segue through your day.
Or excuse something. I can't go out today. I have explosive diarrhea.
pooping.
Like, oh God.
Sorry.
Well, I guess we'll have to cancel.
Norovirus. That's trending these days.
Oh gosh.
It's so hot right
Please
now.
don't even like breathe that into existence.
Yeah.
Some of us have toddlers in our lives.
Well, just don't go on any cruises.
It's just spreading. It's in the wild now.
No, really.
Yeah, don't go to playgrounds.
Oh no.
As you were wont to do, I guess.
Don't lick the doorknobs.
Yeah.
Wash your hands all the time.
My kids are luckily past licking doorknobs.
Good.
For the most part,
Thank God.
just a little bit still. No more.
I mean, they might sneak one
They'll
in.
lick the odd
like
doorknob.
when we were watching the other movie, we were watching Pacific Rim. I put my arm around Julian, my 7-year-old, and I felt him lick my arm. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like, why did you do that? Ugh. Hope he doesn't have norovirus, though.
Now your arm has it.
I didn't
clean that
also.
arm off with alcohol.
I didn't lick my arm, so I think I might be okay. But
Oh man.
So he has bullet norovirus and for one scene.
yes,
But then other than that, like, it's a lot of them driving around, like, and we have the Mad Max-esque scenes where they're driving around in these kind of weird, they're modern cars, or they're future cars rather, but they have all sorts of shit on top so they can fire out the back and the sides. So again, it feels very Mad Maxy. At one point they drive into Dune where they're in the middle of this giant desert planet and there's these giant worm things that come out of the ground. And so it's either Dune or Tremors or something like that. And they escape the thing by shooting through the back of its head. Like, literally, we're driving through parodies of other movies.
yeah.
But they're not acknowledged as jokes, except for one where they drive through Piss Wash Gully, which is just a part of the planet that's covered in urine.
I was wondering if that was what had to do with the worm monsters. This is where they shit.
Do worms pee?
Worms do not pee. I don't think they eat crap and it turns into soil. Right?
Yeah, they poop, but I don't think they pee. I don't know.
And then, like, the girl is, like, being a little prissy teenager where she's like, I don't want to roll out the window. And everyone's like, roll up the window. She's like, I'm not going to roll out the window. And they get, like, urine all over them. And he goes, now the inside of the car smells like pee. And everyone's like, ew. And that's it. That's the piss water gulch scene. It's like a bad comedy sketch that doesn't make any sense.
Worms pee through their skin.
There you go. We're better for knowing that.
Yep.
Yeah.
The more you know.
This is my fault for not following this movie as closely as I should have. Who is Jamie Lee Curtis to Lilith?
She's a friend of her mom's.
Well, so we go to the bar. We end up at a bar. We end up at Moxie's, and they're like, "There's an engineer that will help you figure this out." And the engineer's got, like, in top of this tower up above Moxie's, and that's where we run into Jamie Lee Curtis. Jamie Lee Curtis is this engineer that knows everything, and it just happens to be someone that Lilith knows.
Yeah, because there's
so
many people talk about Lilith's mom, and eventually do meet a hologram of her.
That part pissed me off, but the whole purpose. Okay, so who is Lilith's mom, man?
I think she was an archaeologist or something on the planet,
Right.
and it's never stated who her dad is, but apparently that's enough to make her the Messiah, or the whatever it is. Should I start yelling, he is the Kwisatz Haderach real loud and make it more of a Dune ripoff?
That's
long,
good.
long live the fighters. And then they get killed by the space juggalos, but Lilith was sent away and survived.
Yeah, and here's the thing too. I don't know what this movie's trying to be saying, because
She's Jesus.
No, I get that.
Oh.
I mean, clearly. I mean, look at Cate Blanchett. If I looked that good at 62, I'd think I was Jesus as well. But my point is, like, you introduce the fact that the planet is covered in corporations. So is this supposed to be anti-corporation? Kinda. We only see one corporation the whole time in its army. Like, it would be great if at one point they were saved by another corporation that was trying to knock them off, right? Someone who was fighting Atlas. But they never get there, right? Or is it supposed to just be her and her father and this Red Army thing, right? Not really explained. They show up exactly when the plot needs them to show up, right? Like, and so it's kind of a chase sequence. But the way you win the chase sequence is just take her off the planet so she's nowhere near the end result. The whole movie doesn't have to happen. Now, she believes she's special, which makes her very annoying and a Gen Alpha person. But the thing is, like, the second she gets there and is not special, just fucking leave the planet. Like the Atlas guy wants to open the vault. In the game, the important thing is that the vault opens automatically every 200 years. So you've got to be there at a certain time.
There, yeah.
And that's why there's a Mad Max-esque race to get there. But here, just whenever you get there, just don't go.
Because nobody can open it, yeah.
Just don't go. Because Lilith...
Except for the Kwisatz Haderach, she can open it.
But she doesn't know that.
Yeah, she doesn't know that.
A, she doesn't know it. And B, she doesn't want to go because she watched her mom go mad trying to get the treasure. Right? So if anything, she's the one who wants to leave the most. The problem is this movie has no motivating factor. Because once you tell us that the little girl doesn't matter, she can just die.
Well, they're still planning on dissecting her anyway. Keep her nervous system.
Right. And the thing that saves them is the fact that Lilith wants to live. Lilith doesn't really care about this girl, it turns out. She just turns into like an angel.
Yeah, she like remembers everything and puts two and two together.
Becomes a superhero immediately.
It's weird.
Yeah.
It's weird. Because none of the skills she had before matter all of a sudden, right? Like, it's not like she gets God gun and then just gets a God killer and starts shooting people. No. Now she can fly and punch
fireballs.
things with fire.
Well, if you can throw fire energy weapons, you don't need a gun anymore. You are a gun.
Well, but my point is, the skill she had was to be a sharpshooter. So
it's
her
worthless.
entire background
It's pointless.
doesn't matter.
Yeah, doesn't matter.
Like, if again, like that's why the video games are so good, because you build up your skill the whole time, and at the end you get the thing that pushes you over the edge. Doesn't matter if it's a Legend of Zelda game, doesn't matter if it's a Final Fantasy game.
Nick's talking to me right now.
Well, the people, doesn't matter if it's, I don't know, Cruising USA.
Goat Simulator 3, which also her wings look a lot like
one of the goat wings,
yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
It just, and again, we get great actors. Jamie Lee Curtis is on screen for about the second half of the movie, just about. And she's talking like this. She has this little cute librarian voice she does, but the whole time, like, I'm going to guess she's kind of playing, not like autistic, but like someone who doesn't make social connections. She's very nerdy. She's very cool. Do this. I wish she was in it more then, because once we get the team together 50 minutes in to an hour and a half long movie, this is where the charisma is. Like the first 30 minutes, really, that's where I wanted to turn it off. The last part of this, when they're all together and Claptrap's being a prick and wishing that they're all dead, but just pretending he's happy they're not. Yeah. Kevin Hart is shooting. Like, this part's fun. Yeah. It takes so long to get to this.
And it's so fleeting. It just, you can't build any of it up. Yeah. And it's just too late. And the movie's too short.
And then they got to end it.
Meanwhile, like, we have the stormtroopers who are walking around. Like, and they have technology that works that then they completely forget about. Like when they're in the Guardians of the Galaxy scene where they're walking through that super future mall, they have these masks on where you can't tell who they are. One guy recognizes her gun, but past that you can't tell who they are. Why don't they keep those fuckers on the rest of the movie? Right? I know it's because you're playing an actor and you want to see the actors, but like so much of this makes no sense. And then we end up back in a Fallout world where we're just driving around. Like, this movie is such a mess.
I mean, were they just trying to throw in little elements from the video game franchise here and there, even though the central, they weren't faithful to the central
Has anybody
story?
here actually played Borderlands?
I played a bit of it. I had a buddy of mine who loved the game, and like I would go over and play, because what it is I mean, this stuff is there. And I know there are people who love these games. Your brother said you liked it, right? There's 3 of them.
Yeah.
They're about to come out with the 4th one, I think. But they're really first-person shooters, and you build the background as it goes. And I know the problem is that if you played the whole game end to end, it's probably 20 hours of your life, and you have 90 minutes to make a movie. But you can cut out stuff and make it a better story. They've chosen not to, which is a lot of the problem.
They chose poorly. Previous episode.
I know what it is.
I don't. What is it?
Last Crusade. Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
Oh. Okay.
It's with the Crusaders line after the one guy melts and turns into the Crypt Keeper.
I thought it was Alan Rickman.
I mean, he did do his Alan Rickman voice.
It was Alan Rickman, the spoon.
No, it was your Snape. You're doing your Snape.
Mr. Potter, I'm going to take a spoon to you.
No,
Mr.
Mr. Potter chose poorly.
Be thankful. I didn't use the spoon.
With thankful Potter, I didn't use the spoon.
It's very good.
Time.
It's very good.
It is good. Meanwhile, some bald child somewhere's like, there is no spoon. We'll do the Matrix one day. We'll do the Matrix one day. I mean, to Alex's point a second ago, the place where it feels the most video gamey is when they go into that sewer with the glowing ooze and they're trying to scoot along the scaffolding on the wall, right? That's exactly what a video game level is, right? Scooch, scooch, scooch.
How about the Juggalo massacre? Because the space Juggalos just keep coming and coming, and there must be thousands of them, and they just keep killing them. It's like a harder level of doom.
And just for the record, all of our Juggalo listeners, I'm fine with you guys. I like you a lot. It's Matt who you should target.
Yeah, crack a Fago for us, and
spill one out for your homies.
Yeah.
We know that you and the Illuminati are like the people who run everything, so we're just gonna stay out of your way. We're big fans. Matt's the one you should target with your hate. So Matt wants to see a bunch of you guys die at what is it? The Juggalo death scene? Where are we now?
Well, I'm saying that's the whole sequence. Why it reminded me of a shooter game, because they have no tactics or strategy. They just swarm.
Yeah, again, this is very Mad Max, where you just have a bunch of guys who just like clawing at you. This is about where one of the most baffling things in this movie happens. At one point, the girl, Tiny Tina, there's like a tear or something, and it lands in a crack in the ground, and this beautiful pink flower comes out of the ground. And it's practically glowing. It's all CGI nonsense. So it's like glowing and magical. And I forget who has the line. It might be Lilith, but someone goes, it's just proof that there can be hope anywhere. And then Claptrap falls from the
It's the girl.
Oh, it's Tina?
Yeah.
Tina. And then Claptrap falls from the sky and crushes it. And he goes, how's everyone doing? And I'm like, is she fucking magic?
Wait,
none of this is explained.
So she actually does demonstrate some kind of magical ability.
Possibly, but we're told that all the magical ability actually comes from Lilith.
So
this scene makes no sense.
Yeah, so I was wondering if did they forget? Did they cut something?
Could be.
Is she the backup Kwisatz Haderach?
No, you might be onto something, because this script is deliciously short, and the saving grace is that it's
How many
90 minutes.
writers are there?
2.
I do like how Claptrap ground the flower into the ground for 2 minutes solid.
Yeah, he's like dancing around like it's that the weird part at the beginning is smashed by how funny and bizarre that is.
Yeah. I had the same thought about that scene though.
Yeah.
It's like, this is weird.
Now I will say there's the other writer. One is just Eli Roth. The other guy is a guy named Joe Abercrombie, who has almost no credits. So I wonder if he was the dude.
Joe Abercrombie. There's a writer named Joe Abercrombie.
Oh,
like a science fiction writer, but he writes books.
Okay,
we got to look this up.
Well, keep stalling, because that's literally what I'm doing.
Because I've met him at Dragon Con. I attended one of his panels, and I don't think I've read any of his books. I know he's written a bunch of books, but I have never heard of him involved in writing a movie.
It is not. His screenwriting credit is Joe Crombie instead of him. I wonder if he's not associated with the video games.
Oh,
potentially.
There's actually some people who say Borderlands writer Joe Crombie might not even exist, because he's not listed anywhere else.
You think they faked having someone involved with the games just to appease the fans, to be like, look, we really did?
No, I think it's that they use so many characters and names that they need to give someone from the video game credit. That's why it's baffling to me, because even that mediocre first Super Mario Brothers game, a bunch of people from Nintendo in Japan are associated with it, because you have to approve all these characters. Not that Lilith is exactly a creative new name, but at the same time, you can't just have someone named Tiny Tina who looks like the game character Tiny Tina, etc. So anyway, I don't know. To answer Matt's question, I don't know. This would have been almost more interesting as a TV show, but I'm glad there's actually a fucking movie. I was so pissed off at that Obi-Wan Kenobi show, which I enjoyed very much, but I'm like, this would have been a great 2-hour movie instead of a 5-hour miniseries. Or that Boba Fett show, which was awful, would have been a good 2-hour movie. Do something with movies. I'm glad we have this, but this definitely feels like you said, cutting room floor stuff.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Was it maybe going to be set up for sequels, and then maybe they just realized it was so bad that they kind of bailed on a lot more things that they were gonna throw in there that would be setting up a second one? I don't know. I mean,
yeah, I can't put this together because again, like I'm even going to agree with Matt. Like it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be, but also it's just such a mess.
Same here.
Like I can't imagine this being on. Like again, you cut out the first 30 minutes and add more to the back end, so I get something about these characters. I could see it, but like I imagine in the first 90 minutes of the video game, you have a better grasp on this world. Right? Like, because at the end, when we open the vault, I guess we can cut there because we've talked about pretty much everything else that matters. Other than the fact that to get away from the you keep calling them the juggalos. To me, they look like Mad Max guys. They get into this elevator. Kevin Hart sacrifices himself. And by the way, he should die here. He does not, but he should die here. They get to the top of the elevator, and just like another scene that they're ripping off, the end of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, where they're going to the top, and they're like, oh no, there's a roof there. They get to the top and they teleport out of that thing, okay? And they end up in the middle of Tatooine. It looks like Aunt Beru's place in Star Wars, okay? And they're like, I must have done that because I have magic. And everyone's like, sure, kid, whatever. Great. I don't know what to tell you. That's how the scene ends. And then we're just kind of wandering around this desert. And then we're like, all right, now we have to find the vault. She has a globe, and they figure out where the vault is thanks to the globe. We find the 2 other keys immediately, which is, again, one of those things that just pisses me off because people have been looking for 200 years for these keys, and thank God we find them in 20 minutes.
Yeah, a lot of things fall into place there so the movie can end.
And the Crimson Lance and the Juggalos catch up with them, and there's a fight. And the Crimson Lance bad boss, after one of his commanders tries to mutiny and he vaporizes her, takes Tina hostage to make Lilith, who has now become the Kwisatz Haderach or the Mahdi or whatever, to open the vault.
And she stands on the thing. She puts the key in. She puts the butt plug in the little thing there, and nothing happens. Literally nothing happens. And the whole movie goes, well, shit, what do we do now? And the dad is just like, well, we'll kill her and get, and do an alien autopsy, which, Roth, you need an editor, man. You can't just autopsy. You got to decide if this kid is a kid or not, because you can't do that if she's a kid. Well, everyone is shocked. Nay, shocked.
And then Lilith is like, oh, wait a minute. I'm a supreme being. I forgot.
And
I am the Kwisatz Haderach.
And once again, baby boomers remind us that they're the chosen ones and not us. And she stands on it. And by the way, you know what would have been great? We don't see, but we're doing great. She stands on it. Everyone looks for a second, and someone just shoots her. Because, because again, there's an entire army with guns pointing at him, and like the ends of Blues Brothers or something. And they just let her stand there for 45 seconds while she suddenly gets more magical? Yeah. No, absolutely not. Absolutely.
They're like, well, let's see how magical she's going to get.
Right,
pretty magical.
She already got the goat wings.
Cate Blanchett is in her 50s. That makes her Gen X, right? So finally Gen X gets something.
Did you say 62, Nick?
I thought that's how matches she was earlier. I didn't even look it up. I don't know. Let's see. I will give her credit because I like her as an actress.
Well, they'd be just very into the boomers, I guess, right?
You're into boomers? What did you say?
I said she'd be the very end of the boomers.
You said
she got me into boomers.
Nice.
I'm not.
She was born in 1969.
Oh, well, okay.
Yeah, she's 1969.
She's X.
She's X by a few years. You're right. So she's not 60. She's 56. There you go. I'm glad we sorted that out.
That theory's out the window.
She's kind of one of those ageless type actresses.
And so then there's a big fight, and then evil executive takes Tiny Tina hostage to force her to open the vault. And then they pull a fast one on him, disable his energy shields, and leave him to be eaten by some unexplained monster in the vault.
It's
which
like an octopus.
Is supposed to be
what's going on?
Is that the destroyer from the game?
There must be from the game.
It must be a game thing because I have no idea.
I can swear one of us was talking about this on
Anything that doesn't make sense in this movie, I'm like, oh, that just must be from the game.
One of us, it might have been you and me, Nick, we were talking on the Facey book about, or maybe you and Keiko, I don't even remember, about this being the destroyer which is one of the bosses in the game.
I mean, again, you looked it up. I did not. I put together a plot description of the game so you would know what we were talking about.
So,
I
was wondering if they would go for the mummy where they just leave him in there to starve to death among all the treasure, but nope, something eats him.
Well, which again begs the question: did they know that thing was down there? Or is it like, because I figured that that's what they were trying to do, just leave him. But again, another scene, like the mummy, there were just those little spidery things, and they ate him alive.
Bye, Benny.
Yeah, yeah. Who does come? Is he in the next movie? I forget. We did Mummy 2 years ago. Listen to our episode. I remember very little about it.
Yeah, and so having become the Kweisatz Haderach and destroyed one of the mega corporations, they decided to go back to the city and have a big party. But there are still other mega corporations and other factors out there, so sequels, maybe?
They're not going to make a sequel to a movie that lost this much money.
No.
No.
I was wondering if they're going to go for a Dune thing where all the mega corporations have to bow to the Mahdi, but they didn't.
They did not. No. Although she's not shy about showing that she has magic powers anymore, because she's blowing herself up all over the place, making like that weird... it's like a it looks like a Pokemon, but I guess it's supposed to be a phoenix of some sort as it kind of glows over the city. Yeah. And also, by killing one CEO, there's world peace. So, just...
Yeah, it's like that, the Mangione guy. He solved everything
Yeah, Chuck Mangione.
by taking out the...
The guy who made all those westerns. So right now in U.S. history, we're talking about the Gilded Age. And in the Gilded Age, after the Homestead Steel Strike, where Frick sends in the Pinkertons to kill a bunch of people, and it's really bad. He gets fired for it. He lands on his feet, don't worry. But a guy named Alexander Berkman comes in and tries to assassinate him. Shoots him once in the shoulder, then the second time his gun jams. So Berkman is beaten to death by Frick on the floor of his office. Wow. They leave the blood. He leaves the blood on the stain on the carpet and says, "Let this be a lesson to anyone who tries to negotiate with me." But I'm just like, could you imagine a world where someone assassinates the CEO because they were everything old is new again.
It's our dystopian reality.
Dystopian reality. Apparently, there was another attempt on a CEO last week. And since we're recording in January, so since the assassination, United Health has lost $68 billion. So there you go.
Wow.
Oh, I know. I'm heartbroken.
So sad.
Anyway, Atlas. Apparently, again, they destroyed Atlas, and there's fireworks. It's like the end of Empire Strike or Return of the Jedi. Bunch of Ewoks just going chum chum doo 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 doo. They're just blowing up things. As a PlayStation logo appears on the horizon. Jump jump doo 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 doo. By the way, I forgot this, but Kate Winslet. I keep seeing Winslet. Cate Blanchett is from Australia.
Oh, she's Australian.
So do you think she's pissed off that they're ripping off Mad Max? Like, this could have been her Mad Max. She could have been Furiosa in this. And instead, she's an American. Thank goodness I'm an American rescuing Tiny Tina.
Yeah, I forgot that she was Australian.
Okay, Stephen Strange.
My criticism still stands because she absolutely, even as an Australian, she absolutely enunciated things like that.
Oh, she does.
I forgot she was Australian, but
no, you're right. Like, she almost always plays an English woman or an American or something like that. And she's good at what she does, but if I got one crikey, this movie gains half a star.
Is an American accent easier for people with other accents?
I don't know. I mean, hey, take Nicole Kidman. She's pretty damn good at it, right?
It seems like people
she's Australian.
Can do American accents very well.
Some people just can't, I guess. And I imagine they work at it. It's just there's little things you can detect if you're listening.
I mean, so we're watching Lost right now, and there's Claire, or as we call her in our household, Claire. And her baby Aaron. Aaron.
In The Walking Dead, Rick is played by a British actor, but he has this weird, vaguely growly voice the entire time. I'm gonna kill you.
Well, that's what it is.
Well, he's supposed to be like from the Deep South, so
yeah, it's like True Blood. Stephen, what's his name, who played Vampire Bill, is English, but he can do the Southern drawl.
Suck
it.
The thing is, one who can really do. The one who can really do it is Jamie Bamber, who's Apollo in the Battlestar Galactica remake.
Wait. I don't. Okay, is that a bad guy?
No.
I just feel like all your impressions are bad guys.
Yes.
Can you do any good guy impressions?
Drawing a blank.
This is an
I was
silence.
just curious.
Well,
you don't think I'm a good guy, Mrs. Childs?
Snake.
My fangirls, there are many of them, would think I am.
Oh gosh.
He's just technically at the end of the movies. When all things end, he becomes a hero. But I was going to say, the entire MCU is English, isn't it? Or Australian. Thor's Australian. Doctor Strange is English. Tom Holland, who's Spider-Man, is English. There's a lot of them in there.
Yeah, I don't usually tend to notice and nitpick accents unless I know where someone's from, and then I'll pay attention.
Tom Holland was in a movie called Devil All the Time where he does a Southern accent.
Well, and he was in that rip-off Tomb Raider movie. The one that's
Uncharted.
Uncharted. He was Uncharted as an American. He's playing Peter Parker, who's from Queens.
I got a spider in here.
I just wish he did it. We got an American. If you want to do an American, you can do an American. You can find a guy from Queens who's willing to tell Tony Stark.
They don't have any.
Tell Tony Stark to go fuck himself. Oh, he grew up in his Long Island dumpster. Anyway, we can wrap this up. Matt, you want to start us off?
Okay, final thoughts. It's worth seeing once just because it's sort of dumber Guardians of the Galaxy. But that's about it. It's fun, but it's forgettable.
Along those lines too. It exceeded my expectations by a smidge. I thought it would be less enjoyable than it was. Not the movie that I've hated most doing this podcast.
What movie did you hate? Was it Trading Moms?
I think it was Trading Mom, Keiko. I'm sorry, that takes the cake. Rollerball is a close second.
Rollerball was good.
When they went to night vision. When all of a sudden there was 10 minutes of night vision. Oh my God. Can you imagine, the studios thinks it's kind of dark, but what if? It was night vision. And she's just wait, what's happening?
Yeah, Bloodsport turns to the Euromaidan.
Watch the original Rollerball. That's fun. Anyway. No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
That's basically. I didn't have a ton of deep thoughts on this one. It was just had some moments. Some of the fights were kind of cool. But yeah, sure. See it once.
I didn't like this, guys. I'm sorry.
You're fine.
I didn't like it. I thought Matt said he enjoyed it, so I was excited, and within 10 minutes I was just mad, because not mad at you, but just mad at the movie because I could tell that it was just flat, just so empty and flat. And I feel like it could have potential. This story, this world, it is cool, but just what they did with it was just so weird and mishmash and ugh. So if you're gonna watch it, do not pay money to rent it. Just wait a week, and it's going to be available to stream for free.
Agreed.
On something.
Tubi, perhaps. Where does the hell where these things go?
This will be on Amazon. They just won't advertise it, or Netflix, and they won't advertise it. It'll just be there.
Yeah.
Okay, so I watched this and I hated it. I really wanted to turn it off 30 minutes in, but we have a show to do. I was watching it on the treadmill, and more than once I almost fell off the treadmill. I was so gobsmacked.
How he suffers for you, our audience.
That's right. I don't even know. I would say if you want to watch this, I'll lean into what Alex and Matt say. First of all, you're only going to want to watch this once. It's a disaster. Mm-hmm. But I'd almost say skip the first 20, 30 minutes. No, literally.
Maybe they would like it. Ooh, social experiment. Yeah.
Because then you miss all of Cate Blanchett being introduced in this bar as Lilith, and there's this just talk scene that goes on and on, where she's caught this guy and brings him to a bar rather than where she's supposed to turn it in, because blah blah blah, and he's wanted dead or alive, so they just kill the bastard, and you're just okay, well that didn't matter then. And then they bring a bunch of heavies to show up, and she shoots everyone, and we're wow, she's good at shooting people. And just the scene goes on for 20 minutes. Guess what? When she shows up on planet Pandora with a bunch of guns looking for a girl, you get it. And the pictures move, and you're just okay, this is going to be stupid. But the movie gets bogged down so much in that first half hour, I wanted to turn it off. Skip it, and then just watch an hour-long movie. It's like a Netflix TV show. Then you're just watching an hour, and then you're moving on. This movie's terrible. It's really not good. Some of the effects are fine. That's it. That's all I got. So next month we intentionally did something which we have not done in a while. There's no theme. Just picked a bunch of random movies to do, which will be kind of fun. And at the moment, scheduled next week, a movie we've talked about doing for years. So stay tuned for Arachnophobia. Thanks, everyone.
Myopia Movies is a podcast production of Dude Letter Podcasting and is produced by Nick Hoffman. It is edited by Nerd Trinette and Daniel Suttis and is hosted by Nick Hoffman, with production assistance by Matthew Quinn, Daniel Suttis, and Nerd Trinette. The theme song is Surf Shimmy by Kevin MacLeod from incomptech.com. Licensed under the Creative Commons by Attribution for License, Creative Commons /licenses by /4.0. Thanks.